All ready for this night of epicness? Listen, I've already watched the Raising Kanan season 2 season finale. And now it's time for the House of the Dragon season finale. And I know they're going to give it to us. Raising Kanan was really good. It was about that action, the whole episode. I'm hoping we get the same thing with this season 1 finale of House of the Dragon. Let's get it. So we at it. Season 1, episode 10, The Black Queen. Okay, so we open up with Luke in the hall, touching what I would say is Corliss's version of Viserys's train. I mean, not train. His master board of all of Dragonstone or whatever. His little pieces. Corlys has something similar, but it looks like black stone, right? We can see it's inscribed with something. And Luke is running his hands over it. And Rhaenyra comes in the room. And he looks up at her, greets his mom. And he tells her, I don't want to be the king. I don't want to be Lord of Driftmark. And she was like, but you are. He was like, I know grandsire was it, because he said the sea snake is dead, isn't he? He's going to die, right? And that's when he tells her he doesn't want to be Lord of Driftmark because he said he get green sick as soon as they step to on the ship. So to him, that means he wouldn't be a good sailor or whatever. He'll never be able to be what his grandfather was. So she was like, this is your destiny. He was like, but I didn't choose this. She's like, listen, your destiny chooses you. You don't choose it. And your grandfather made a way and took care of us and took care of me so that I can grow up and become who I am. And as your mother, I'm going to do the same for you. Because he also says something about, he's not perfect. He's like, Mom, I'm not good at this and I'm not a perfect person. And she lets him know, I'm your mother and I'm not perfect neither. And I will take care of you as my father took care of me. Then one of the maesters or whoever he is enters the room and tells Rhaenyra, listen, Rhaenys just pulled up and she wants a meeting immediately with everybody. So come on, let's go, like chop to it. She did let them know. Watch. That's what she did tell me. Niecy has entered the room, guns blazing. I'm sorry to tell you, but your daddy did. Rhaenyra is like, what? She said, yes, your daddy's dead. Damon is like, how did he die? She said, I don't know. Niecy says, I don't know how he died, but he's definitely dead. He died either a day or two ago. And there's more. So Rhaenyra is like, what? She was like, and they crowned Aegon king. They did it in front of the masses. The high serpent crowned him king. Damon's like, that whore. She murdered my brother and crowned her son as the king. And that's Rhaenyra gets a pain in her stomach, and you know she's pregnant at the thought that her daddy is gone. And she looks at Rhaenys and she's just like, and I guess they swore you to declare allegiance to Aegon. She said they did, and I refused. And Damon is saying something about going over there and cutting heads and fighting a war. And Niecy was like, listen, I'm sure this. No, he said they left you alive. And she was like, yeah, like they kept me in. She like banished me to my quarters, but I was able to get out of there on release. Because he was saying you could have killed them by dragon fire. She was like, I was able to escape on my dragon, but I saw it with my own eyes that they crowned Aegon the king. And to be honest, I refused her and didn't pledge allegiance to Aegon. And I came here as soon as I could to warn y'all that they coming for you and your children. But this is sure to be a war over this. But it's not my war. It's not my fight to start. So that's why I didn't do anything. But I just want out of loyalty to my husband Corliss, and to this place Driftmark, and as your cousin, because my cousin was sweet. She referring to Viserys. She was like, my cousin was a sweet person. So I just felt like it's my duty, and because of my loyalty to my cousin, I had to come and let you know that they coming for you. Like, she knows that Viserys loved his daughter, and she don't want no harm to come to Rhaenyra either. She doesn't. So let's see. Oh Lord, all this stress has caused something with the baby. Rhaenyra feels under her dress, and damn, pull her hand out and there's blood. The baby is coming. The maester is like, it's far too early for her to be laboring for the baby to come. And they was like, Rhaenyra was like, well, it's fucking coming. Like, I can't do nothing about it. Aemon goes to alert the knights that they have to make a barrier around Driftmark and make it look like they have more army than they actually do have. Get the dragon keepers and get them out there to fight while Rhaenyra is in the room laboring. While Nisi went out to the beach to find Luke and Jace out there sword fighting and practicing, and lets them know that they need to hurry up and come in and see their mother. The boys approach their mama, who was bent over in labor pains. She lets them know that their grandfather has died and that Alicent and Otto has repudiated Viserys' wishes for her to be queen of the throne and made Aegon the heir to the throne. They said, well, where's Daemon? And she said somewhere plotting his war. Luke and Jace get upset. Jace says he gonna go say something to Daemon. And she stops them. She stops Jace. She tells him that whatever happens, he takes over whatever she has, and he's heir to whatever she's left with or has, but he is not to do anything until she commands him to do it. Once again, Daemon's in there with the council. They inform him that they've heard from a raven that Corliss's fever has broken and he's set sail. And he says where he headed, they said probably Evenfall, wherever that is. So Daemon's like, well, send the Ravens out to go talk to the Tullys, and he names some other people, to try to, they're their allies and they need their help with this war they about to have with the Greens. So you can hear Rhaenyra, you can hear her screaming, Daemon, Daemon, while she's in labor. So the king's, I guess, Lord of the Kings God for Driftmark, that's who he is. He's like, do you want me to go get the maesters for her? And so Daemon was like, I'm gonna go sail to somewhere to get someone to come help, as an ally for this war that we're about to have. And in that instance, Jace enters the room and was like, no, you will not. My mother says she don't do nothing unless she while she's a bed, meaning that while she on bed rest and labor and everything, you are not to make any moves unless she tells you to make them. And she says no, so that means you stay here. But I think this is going to be the beginning of the demise of the relationship between Rhaenyra and Daemon, because I think Daemon gonna still do what the fuck Daemon want to do. Just like I thought, Daemon ain't paying Jace and what he saying no mind. Rhaenyra still screaming for Daemon to come help with this daggone labor. And he said, didn't you hear me? My mom said, and he told the King's Guard, like, go do this and do that. You, Jace, we're gonna need you to fly Vermax or something on a roof or whatever he was saying. And then next thing you know, he tells the other child, come with me, I'll show you the true meaning of loyalty. So Daemon, Jace are on the side of the cliff. 2 knights from the Knights Guard. These knights serve Jaehaerys and they serve Viserys. Daemon looks at them and says, listen, y'all serve Jaehaerys and Viserys and you swore allegiance to them. And right now, I want your answer. Are you going to swear allegiance to heir the throne, Rhaenyra, and her succession of the throne, Jacaerys. Let me know now. If you say no, I'll give you an honorable death, because that's when we see the dragon come stand over on top of the cliff looking at and breathing. He's like, I'll give you an honorable death if you decide that you don't want to swear allegiance to Rhaenyra and Jacaerys. And they looking shook. He said, or y'all can go ahead and swear allegiance, but if somewhere down the line you do something treacherous and betray us, I'm letting you know now, you're going to die a horrible, excruciating death. And I'm going to make sure of it. In the meantime, we can hear Rhaenyra still laboring, hollering, and screaming. The handmaidens all around her. They saying, let us help you, let us help you. She said, no, she's struggling, she's screaming, she's crying. Next thing you see is a big gush of blood come from between her legs. She screams some more. Then you see like a baby's head. And she was like, get out of me, just get out of me. And she labors some more. And the baby falls out onto that fucking concrete floor. Not moving. We don't see any signs of life in this baby. The somber music starts to play. The handmaidens, we see one visibly shaking and crying. Rhaenyra still in squat position, picks that baby up. We see the cord was wrapped around the baby's neck. She picks that baby up and holds it to her bosom. And the somber music goes on and plays. And it's the saddest. It's almost as sad as her mother passing away. Whew, it's a lot, y'all. It's a lot. I'm teary-eyed. It's a lot. We see Daemon into the room. And he sees Rhaenyra doing whatever the ritual is to wrap the baby and prepare the baby for the funeral or whatever that is. The handmaidens are all standing behind her, watching her. Yo, Rhaenyra is so fucking strong. Lord, that girl is a woman at this point. Lord, she's strong. How old is she supposed to be at this point? How old are her and Alicent supposed to be? Because wasn't she like 16, 17 when she married Laenor? I wonder how old she is now. Daemon is sad, and then we see him walk out and stand out by the water. Trying to make sense of it. Alright, so they having a funeral now. Oh, so Eric has come. Eric who saved Rhaenys. Whoa, he came bearing the freaking crown that her father had and bent the knee and swore allegiance to her and said he will take no crown. He would take no wife, have no kids or anything like that. He wanted to be in her knight's guard. Wow. Wow. At this, everybody out there takes a knee, including Baela and Rhaena, the twins. And by the way, there's new actresses playing them now. They're older now. But we see Rhaenys still standing there. I never saw her bend a knee. Mind you, Rhaenyra walking through here just as nice, like she didn't just give birth to a stillborn baby. Surrounded by her men, Rhaenyra walks down to the hall where the big map is, and it's on fire, lit up. When she enters the room, they announce her. We see everybody bow their head once again, acknowledging her presence. Everybody but Rhaenys is bowing their head. Then we see Rhaenyra step forward. The guards step forward with her. She gives them a look like, no, y'all step back, so they do. And then we see Rhaena offers her a drink of wine. And they step to the table. She wants to know what's there standing. And they like, we got 30 guards, 30 other men. and some other 30 guards, 30 men, and about 100 other people to help. Um, and they are trained. They can protect Driftmark, but we don't know, what the Green's gonna be coming with, so that might not be enough. Then they also, one of the men from the council was like, "Listen, all those lands y'all told us to go to with your allies, we have their support." Damon is like, and I've put I sent the Raven to the City Watch, so I'm not sure how many men we got from there, but I'm sure we got some support from them as well. I'm just not sure about how many actually will support us. Shit is getting thick. Shit is getting thick. There's more talk about whose allegiance, who has who allegiance. They mentioned the Lannisters. They mentioned the House of Stark. They mentioned the Baratheons. Rhaenys said we gotta remind the Baratheons what their father swore oath. And the man in the council was like, yeah, but all this talk of the all these men is moot. You got dragons, like what are we talking about how many men for when you got dragons? Damon is like, well, they got, she's like, but their House of Green, they got 3 dragons over there. And Damon reminds her of all the dragons they have between all of them over there. So basically, he says they got 13 dragons, and it's 3 wild dragons out there that's not claimed by nobody. It's some dragons in another place that's not being ruled by anybody. We see somebody with dark hair enter the room, and Eric noticed them out his peripheral. And they come and make a whisper. Rhaenys also mentions that Corlys is on his way to Dragonstone. And I think I heard somebody mention that they are actually in Harrenhal at this moment. I thought they was on Driftmark, but whatever. Um and I thought that Harrenhal had burned down, didn't I? Thought they burnt it down some years before. Maybe they rebuilt it. I don't know. Y'all let me know. I'm confused at this point about that part. But basically Rhaenys makes it known that Lord Corlys, he's on his way back with his fleet. And Rhaenyra is like, we need that fleet or whatever. And the Lannisters also have a fleet as well. But the Lannisters have sworn allegiance to Aegon and Alicent and them because they been in Otto's pocket for years or whatever. So they know that's out the window. And the person that came into the room lets them know that no, before that happens, Rhaenys basically lets Rhaenyra know she does not know where her husband's loyalty is going to lie, if he's going to be on their side or he's going to swear allegiance to Alicent and Hightower or whatever. But I don't think he would, because I feel like Corlys, because remember Corlys and Daemon in the beginning decided to link up and go and fight the crab king, remember the crab feeder or whatever. So I'm thinking that he's still gonna be having some kind of allegiance to Damon. But basically Rhaenys was like, I don't know who you gonna swear allegiance to. And Rhaenyra was like, you know what? And I'm just gonna go have to pray that he swears allegiance to us. He rides with us, just like I prayed for his health to return and him to be able to make it back to you, or whatever. And now that person has entered the room to say they spied some ships on the way, and it looks like it's a 3-headed dragon on the way as well. And they realize it's the Greens coming. It's Otto pulling up, talking about, I came at the suggestion of my daughter to deliver a message from the Queen only to Rhaenyra. And he said, where is the princess? Rhaenyra pulls up on Cyrex. Cyrex is roaring. Let's see what Alicent had to tell Rhaenyra. So here he go with these fucking terms. He says Aegon is the second of his name, and he has been crowned king, and he has all the like, what is the word I'm looking for? He has all the receipts basically to prove it or whatever. And he also says that they got House Tully, Baratheon, and Stark thinking on some terms too. And she was like, they've already sworn allegiance to me. So, the fuck. So he was like, if you, the terms for you are, you will have everything in Dragonstone. Dragonstone will be yours. And it will pass to Jace, your firstborn son. Luke will be Lord of Driftmark. And the kids that you have with Damon, they'll have high stations in court in Dragonstone. Damon was like, man, fuck you. I would rather feed my kids to the fucking dragons than to have them be your fucking cupbearers and stuff like that. Anything of your name. Like, get the fuck out of here, Otto. So that's when Otto goes into the fact that he got the Tullys and stuff thinking on the terms. And when Rhaenyra burst his bubble, it's like, no, they already swore allegiance to me. So you don't have them. Or whatever. He tells her that, what the hell did he say? He said something slick. And, he said something slick to her. And she went up to him. And she told him, oh, I know what it was. She said that they all swore oath to her. You know, when her father, they swore oath and pledged allegiance when her father first named her heir to the throne. And he was like, in the moment he sired a son, that oath was old, stale, and dead. Like, that don't hold anymore. And she said, you know, y'all basically usurped my father's decision. And y'all stole the crown or whatever. So she goes up to him, snatches that little brooch or whatever that says that he's the hand of the king. She says, you're no more the hand than I am the queen at this moment, or whatever. And she takes it and she throws it. And then that's when Damon is like, Maester, hand me this man so I can have the pleasure of killing him. Damon ready for blood. And Otto gives, the Maester gives Otto something, that black Maester that they got. He passes it to Rhaenyra. Rhaenyra opens it. And then some somber music started playing. And it's something from one of the books that her and Alicent read as children. And it was given to her. He said, Alicent sent you this to remind you that she still has love for you as her friend. And she wants to end this with peace. Like, she don't want this fight, this war and stuff like that. And at that point is when Damon was like, hand Otto over to him so he can kill him. And Syrax starts to wail and roar, snarl. And then that's when Rhaenyra backs away from Otto and tells Otto, you know, you'll have my reply by tomorrow. So basically give me a day to think on it. But I don't think she's gonna think on it. I think she's gonna come up with another plan. Ooh, shit. Back in the council. Back in the castle. In the war room, and they talking. They're making their plan. Excuse me. And they talking about dragons, but you know, when dragons are taking the war, dragons have killed other dragons. And usually when the dragon's taking the war, the dragon's gonna burn every goddamn thing down. And Rhaenyra does not wish to rule over ash and burnt lands. Like, she don't want to be the queen of ash or whatever. So she trying to come up with another plan, another way. Damon was like, but they declared war against you already, my love. At what point are you going to declare war back on them? And she looked at him like, I know the fuck you didn't. Like, we supposed to be a united front. You ready for blood already. Like, let's think this out. She trying to think about it. She tells them, clear the room. I said, ooh. It's Rhaenys looking back at them as everybody's clearing the room. She's walking to clear the room with the others. And she looked back at Rhaenyra with this shady ass look like So you wanted to be queen, right? Now look at y'all. I bet it's a look of because you got named heir to the throne and you married my daughter's husband, my daughter's widow. It's like right after we had the funeral for my daughter. And then my son is dead. She still feel a way about that shit. Damon goes straight in. You about to swear allegiance to these motherfuckers that disobeyed your father and took the throne, stole the throne from you? That's what you really doing? So she goes into, we got to think about the bigger picture. Do you know the story of the song of Ice and Fire that my dad told me about Aegon? And then she's getting ready to tell him about all of this stuff. He grabs her by the fucking throat, lifts her off the ground, choking her and tell her, my brother had a lot of dreams and potence. And I don't believe and subscribe to that bullshit. He said some other things too. And when he puts her down, she tells him. So he never told you the song of the Ice and Fire that we have to unite to fight the darkness. He don't believe that stuff, but as we know from watching Game of Thrones that stuff was true. Also, didn't I say earlier, that this part right here, this was going to change Daemon and Rhaenyra's relationship? Didn't I say they was going to bump heads about this shit? Wow. So Corlys wakes up, alerts Rhaenys that he's awake, and he says something about he would have a man's head for falling asleep on their watch, but you are a woman, or my queen. And she said, you know what? You abandoned us. Our children died. We lost our children. And you abandoned me. You abandoned me. And you abandoned Baela and Rhaena too. And he was like, I went on a quest. I turned to where I could turn to deal with what I was going through at his losses. She was like, it was not just your loss. We both lost our kids. Like, what are you talking about, sir? So then she says, you know what? And just so you know, he says, well, I heard we have a new king. She said, yes, we do. And also, along with that, we got a new king, but actually, your brother is dead. And he said, huh? And she let him know. At his urgency to bury you and take the throne of Driftmark, he denounced Jace and Luke and said they were illegitimate and they were not heirs to the throne like you said they were. And Daemon took his head for it. And he said, you know, headless ambition is the Valerian way. And I'm coming to realize all my times going out to sea for adventure, it was all for naught. So they can go here and declare whoever going to be king or whatever over there, but we will swear allegiance to nobody. We're going to retire and take our asses back to Driftmark and just live out our days. And she lets him know that Rhaenyra has the people behind her. They want her to be queen of the realm. And that, in her opinion, Rhaenyra would be the best option anyway because she said all these men around her urging her to go ahead and fight. Right straight off of emotion and everything. And Rhaenyra is showing so much patience and peace at this time because she's trying to figure out what's the smartest way to go about doing things, so as not to have a whole lot of death or whatever. And basically, it sounds to me like Rhaenys is for Rhaenyra at this moment. I don't know if she's going to get Corlys to see it the same or whatever, but Now we see Rhaenyra in the room with all the men yelling about how they should fight and what they should be doing. So Lord Corlys and Queen and Lady Rhaenys enter the room. They all stand and they all greet them and announce them. As you can see, Luke and Jace are standing off to the side, and Baela and Rhaena go stand by their side already. They haven't been married to each other yet, but they go take their place at their sides though. So Corlys goes over to Rhaenyra and says, "So you planning the war, right? You getting things ready?" So he looks at the board. He says, "So these are all the houses that swore allegiance to you?" And she said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, this is not nearly enough people to win a war." So she goes to naming, well, we hope House Baratheon, House Stark, House Tully, and she names some other ones, will swear oath and keep their oaths because they swore oath back in the day, but I'm hoping they're going to stick by that and take my side. He said, listen, you can't win a war on the hope of allies to swear an oath to you. He says, where is Daemon anyway? She like, he had some other business to tend to. So she looks at him and asks him, is he going to swear an oath to her? And he goes into this whole diatribe and ends it with, what the Hightowers did is treason, and I cannot support it. So with that basically being said, you have my full support and my fleet, everything. Anything I have, you have. So, the time that Corlys was gone has served him well, because now he has full control of the Stepstones, and they're going to do whatever he said do. And he has the Triarchy as well. So with all of that, he's able to truly be king of the narrow sea, have control of all that, and make sure that the Greens can't come past a certain point, and basically they can surround King's Landing and do what they wish. But Rhaenyra, she's still like, no, my oath is to protect the realm, and to do that, I need to try to keep the peace, or in a sense. So she feels like they need to send a raven to the north, to the House Stark, and they need to send one to the south to visit. Well, in the north it's House Stark and House Eyrie, a cousin that's in House Eyrie. And in the south, I believe it's the Baratheons or something like that, but it was somebody else. And then that's when Jay steps up and was like, well, we can get to them faster on Dragonback than sending ravens. So I can do it. And then Luke was like, and so can I. So she was like, okay. So Jace, you go north, and Luke, you'll fly south. And they got their plan and they ready. God, I hope them boys make it back to their mama alive. Rhaenyra makes the boys swear on the book of the realm that their high spirits or whatever, their gods, that they are going as messengers and not as warriors. So she does not want them to participate in any fighting. She swears that they're going to be welcomed by these people. But I don't know. I don't think so, y'all. Daemon is down in the dragon pit, singing in High Valyrian. It's pitch black down there. He got the fire in his hand. He steps up on what looks to be a platform, puts it down as he still sings. We see a dragon appear, and it looks large as hell. And I think this dragon's name is Veramax. He roars and gets close to Daemon's face, and we see him seeing Daemon in his eyes, and we see Daemon seeing dragon in his eye. Next thing we have, Luke arrives in the south to Baratheons. Gets off the dragon, tells them, the Night's Guard, that he's there with a message from Queen Rhaenyra. So they open the door, announce him to the Lord Baratheon. It's like 6 guards standing there. And we look. And who's standing there to Baratheon's left? Aemon. I said, oh, fuck. That's not going to end well. Just like I predicted, just like I thought. He goes up, he says, my mom has sent me with a message for you. He says, hand over the message. So he hands over the scroll to one of the Knights Guard. They give it to Mr. Baratheon. Baratheon yells out for a maester to come and open the scroll and read exactly what it says. And the maester whispers in his ear what it says. And basically it says, let me remind you, you swore an oath to be, you swore an oath to my father that you would be on my side. You would fully support me as heir of the 7 kingdoms, heir of the realm, upon my father's death. He looks at Luke and says, this is all she sent? Aemon, Queen, and King Aegon has sent women. They've sent gifts. They've sent different things to try to get me to swear allegiance to them. And here you come with a reminder of an oath that I took years ago. That's it. He says, no. She should have never sent a boy to do a man's job. So go back and tell your mother this ain't it. So when he turns to leave, Aemon speaks up. I know you didn't think you were just going to be able to leave like that. You owe a debt to me, boy. And he takes his eye patch off and says, I want here. And he throws a dagger over and says, an eye for your eye. And Luke is like, listen, I'm not about to fight you. And Lord Baratheon was like, listen, y'all not about to do this, not under my roof, you not. His mother sent him here as a messenger, not a warrior. So it's not going down, not in here, not like this. So Aemon had to stand down in that moment. And Baratheon told his guards, see Luke out back to his dragon. But Luke should have known something was off, because once he got off his dragon and approaching the guards, he saw another bigger dragon outside already that was already there. So he should have known something wasn't going to go right. This boy gets on his dragon. It's thunder and lightning. He telling his dragon, don't be scared. We're going to be fine. Like, just get up and fly so we can go home. Like, let's get out of here, because he already know he in danger. The dragon get to flying. He think he getting away. It's thundering and lightning. Next thing you know, we hear heavy breathing and roaring. It's Daemon on his dragons. On his dragon. When his dragon flies up over Luke and his dragon, that damn Vaemar is so goddamn big. Is her name Vagar? Vagar, not Vaemar. Vagar. Vagar is big as fuck. So she flies over, and Aemon is doing all he can to put fear in Luke, and he's all like, you owe a debt, and you gonna pay your debt, boy. And Luke flying and flying. Luke's dragon blows fire on Vagar. You can hear Luke speaking in High Valyrian. And you can hear Aemon telling his dragon to obey him. Not sure if he's speaking in High Valyrian or not, but Luke definitely is. We see Luke fly his dragon through this little thin cavity, but Vagar is way too big to fit through that cavity. So they fly through it. Aemon continues to fly above it. They get out. Luke sees the bright skies. It's not raining where he at. It's bright, pretty clouds. He's smiling like he made it free and clear. Next thing you know, Aemond and Vhagar reappear. And Vhagar go and fucking eats Luke and his fucking dragon. We hear somber music. We see the back of someone's head, which I presume to be Daemon. He enters the room where Rhaenyra is with the council. He goes up to her, takes her by the hand, turns her back towards the council, walks over to the fireplace and whispers something to her. You see her body break down like this, as if she's grieving, crying, or something. She gathers herself after a few moments, and when I say moments, I mean just a few seconds. She turns back around and faces us, looks directly into the camera. And we can see there's a change in her. I don't think we're going to get peaceful Rhaenyra in season 2 of this show. It's about to be on. I'm not sure if Daemon told her both her sons did, because we only saw Luke die. We didn't see Jace. But Luke did. I forgot to mention that the Baratheon asked Luke, was he going to at least marry one of his daughters. And he was like, no, I can't get married because I'm already betrothed to somebody else. So I can't marry one of your daughters. And that even pissed Baratheon off even more. But I'm not sure if Daemon said, we won't find out until season 2 exactly all what Daemon said, but Rhaenyra is changed, forever changed with this. Damn it, man. Damn it to hell. Damn it. Is it a thing where not just the whole legend of Harrenhal or the curse of Harrenhal is a thing on the Strong Boys? Is it just the Strong Boys are cursed, period? Is this going to be another thing where the children of the Strongs going to die out or be killed out, like how that damn Catelyn Stark lost all her kids except for who survived? 3 of her children survived. Robb died, Rickon died, but Sansa and Arya and God damn it, I knew that child's name like the back of my head. Now I can't think of it. But the one who went on to become the Hawk, the Eye, or whatever it was that was like in that cave in the wall, the one that went on to become that, he survived everything. But Rickon, I do remember Rickon and Robb being killed terribly. And of course, Jon Snow survived, which was another Aegon. But this season finale did not give what I thought it was going to give. It set up some stuff to come in future seasons, but it definitely didn't give what I thought it was going to give. It wasn't as eventful as the season finale for Raising Kanan. But I will say, episode for episode, this whole season of House of the Dragon has been really good and has had a lot of action and different things happen. Whereas Raising Kanan was basically slow. Things was moving around the board, but things were slow until this last episode, for real. So, yeah, this season finale wasn't what I thought it was going to be, but I enjoyed the season, though. So, we'll be back here next year when they come out with season 2 of House of the Dragon. That's it for season 1, y'all. Did y'all enjoy? What did y'all think about this season finale? What did y'all think about my reviews? Did they get better as time went along? Y'all let me know. I'll see y'all next year and see y'all in whatever video I put up next if you watch my other videos. Don't forget to click the like and subscribe buttons. And I see y'all when I see y'all. It's been real. Peace.